So welcome back. Uh, as mentioned in the previous video, we will discuss about algorithm and flowchart in this particular video. So what is an algorithm? Algorithm is a step-by-step procedure. Algorithm. So what is an algorithm? Algorithm is step-by-step procedure which is followed to solve a problem. So it's a simple English statements which are used to solve a particular problem. So it can be anything, it can be any problem. So any problem which we solve, we will follow certain process or procedure. So for example, I want to encash a bank check. Maybe like one of my friend gave me a bank check and I need to convert that into money. So what should I do? Step one, I should take that check, go to the bank, then I should give this check to the teller in the bank. He will give me a token and I need to wait till my token number is called upon. Then I should go to the cashier. I should give the token to the cashier. Cashier gives me cash. I should take the cash and come out of the bank. So there is a process, there is a step by step process which we follow in our day to day life also to do a particular task. So suppose I want to do some shopping. So what I need to do first, I need to identify what kind of shopping I need. Am I going to buy some electronic goods or am I going to buy some clothes? So if I'm buying some clothes, then where do I go? Identify a particular shop, right? Somehow go to that particular shop using some mode of transport. You use a bike or a car, go to that shop, then visit the wardrobe, search for the products, clothes which you are interested in, select them, then come to the billing section, make the payment, then get your clothes. So this is how every day in our day-to-day operations we follow certain step-by-step procedures to perform a task. Similarly, in programming, algorithm represents a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem. So it is generally represented in a simple English like statements. So algorithm has got certain features like an algorithm should be simple, algorithm should be finite, right? You can't have infinite procedure to solve a particular problem. It should end, right? So algorithm should be simple, it should be definite, and it should be finite also. So let me type the definition of algorithm. So this is what is the meaning of an algorithm, and I hope you understood what is an algorithm with couple of simple examples which were given to you. So friends, what is the importance of an algorithm? So whenever we try to solve a problem by writing some program, definitely we need to identify what are the operations that are involved to solve that problem. So for example, I want to check whether a given number is an even number or odd number. So how do I write program? So first, what are the steps involved in it? First of all, you should ask the user to give a number as input. So how do I ask user to give a number as input? That is one step. Then how do I collect that number which is given as input by the user? How do I collect it? Where do I store it? That is my second step. Then divide that number by 2 and check the remainder. Got it? So what do you mean by even number or odd number? If a number gets divided by 2 and if the remainder is 0, means if it is completely divisible by 2, then it is an even number, otherwise odd number. So what are the steps involved in solving this problem? Step 1, you need to read the input from the user. First, you should ask him to enter a number, collect that number, store that number in a place which is generally called as variable. Then divide that number by 2, check the remainder. If the remainder is 0, means if the number is completely divisible by 2, then print a message like the number or given number is even number. Otherwise, print a message that the given number is odd number. So in order to check whether a given number is even or odd, I need to perform some steps. Step 1, prompt the user, give a message to user like to enter a number. Step 2, collect that number. Step 3, store that number. Step 4, perform division. Step 5, check the remainder. Based on the remainder, give an appropriate print message. So this is how to solve a small problem. I need to follow 5 or 6 steps. Similarly, for any other problem, whenever a problem is given to you, you need to identify like what kind of data is involved. What is my step 1? What should I do next? Like that, you should follow a systematic step by step approach to solve a problem. That is what algorithm says. So what is an algorithm? Algorithm is a systematic approach. Algorithm is a step by step procedure to solve a problem which is represented in simple English, and it should be simple, definite and finite. So you can't have infinite number of steps to solve a problem. Am I correct? Right? So that is what is the meaning of algorithm. So algorithm is nothing but step by step procedure to solve a problem. So let me write the algorithm for uh, to checking a given number is even or odd. So how do I write an algorithm? So please observe here. So friends, if you observe, right? So in my algorithm, I have used two words called as start and end. So start means this is the beginning of the algorithm. So in order to check whether a given number is even or odd, what is my first step? I should start and I should ask user to enter a number, right? Then read that number from the user. User will give an input. So read it and store that number. Divide the number by 2 and check the remainder. If the remainder is 0, the number is even. Otherwise, print that the number is odd. That is end of the program. So between start and end, you write those systematic steps which are required to solve a problem. Now here, the important observation is you are going to write these steps using simple English, means the algorithm remains the same for this particular problem irrespective of the programming language which you are using. I mean, for example, if I want to write code in C language, this algorithm should be converted into a C program using the programming concepts or programming elements of C language. Same algorithm can be used to convert this algorithm or same procedure will be applied to write a program using other languages like C++, Java, Python, or any other language. So the code will change depending upon the language which you are using, but the algorithm remains the same, right? That is understood. So to solve a problem, the procedure remains same, but how do you implement it, in which language you implement it, it is up to you. So you can use C language or C++, Python, Java. There are 3000 plus languages uh, available in the world, and you can use any language, but irrespective of the language, the algorithm remains same. So what is an algorithm? It's a systematic approach, step by step process to solve a particular problem. That is the definition. And using simple English, we write an algorithm, and algorithm generally starts with a start symbol and ends with an end symbol. So in between start and end, you are going to write the steps involved to solve a particular problem. So this is what is the meaning of algorithm. I hope the word algorithm is clear to everyone. Now friends, let us understand one more concept which is simply related to algorithm. It is called as flowchart. So what is flowchart? Let me first type the definition and we will discuss it. So friends, flowchart. So let me type the definition first. Flowchart. So it is very, very simple. What is flowchart? Flowchart is nothing but it's a pictorial representation, graphical representation of the algorithm, right? So whatever algorithm we have written using English in the form of steps, if I can convert it into a diagram or a graphical representation or a pictorial representation, then it is called as flowchart. So what do you mean by flowchart? Flowchart is nothing but algorithm only, but it is represented in the form of a diagram, in the form of a graphical representation, or in the form of a picture. So what is flowchart? It is nothing but pictorial representation of the algorithm. So in order to convert this algorithm into flowchart, or in order to represent algorithm using picture or a diagram, we will use some special symbols. We will use some special symbols. Let us observe these special symbols which are used in flowchart. So everyone should remember these special symbols. They are very, very important. And you need to write these special symbols also, because generally it can be asked as a question like explain algorithm and flowchart. So in that case you need to write what do you mean by algorithm, its definition, then a sample example, the one which we have seen, like even or odd number kind of thing. Then again flowchart, what is the definition of flowchart, what are the symbols used inside a flowchart, then again you should give a sample example. So if you observe the symbols used, these are the basic symbols. These are more than enough. These are the basic symbols used in a flow chart. These basic symbols are, the first one, oval kind of symbol. Oval represents start as well as end. So you have seen in algorithm which we have written previously, we have used one statement called as a start. Our algorithm starts with a command called as a start and it ends with the word end. So when I try to convert the algorithm into a diagram or flowchart, I will use oval symbol for start as well as for end. Means oval is common for both start and end. So oval is start symbol, oval is also end symbol. Similarly, arrows are used to connect the various components of the flowchart. It's a connector. Then this parallelogram symbol is used to represent input as well as output. Means whenever you are taking some input from the user, that you represent using a parallelogram, and whenever you are printing some output or giving some output to the user, again it is represented using parallelogram. So parallelogram has also got double functionality, that is both for input as well as output we use the same symbol parallelogram. And the next symbol is a rectangle. Rectangle represents a process, means whatever processing you are doing, that should be represented using a rectangle symbol. And this diamond symbol indicates a decision box, means when you process some data and followed by that if you are taking any decision, that decision should be represented using a decision box. So these are the basic symbols which are used to represent a flowchart or which are used to draw a flowchart. Now friends, let us go back to the algorithm which we have written just now to check whether a given number is even or odd. Then we will see what kind of symbols can be applied here. Then we will try to convert the algorithm into flowchart. Let me show you an example which we have visited or which we have written just now. So algorithm to check whether a given number is even or odd. How many steps are there in this algorithm? There are 6 steps. So first step is start symbol and last step is end symbol. So start and end symbol will be replaced with oval because oval is used for start and end. And ask user to enter a number means you are asking user to enter some input. So input, and what is the next step? Read and store the number. So both can be represented together using a single parallelogram where we will write read the input from the user. Then what is the next step? What are you doing with that input? In the fourth step you are dividing that number by 2, so you are doing some processing. So processing means you should use a rectangle to represent processing, means you are doing some operation on the data. After processing, what are you doing? You are checking the reminder. If the reminder is 0, then the number is even. If the reminder is 1, the number is odd number. So you are supposed to make a decision. When you are making a decision, when you are making some decision, then the symbol to be used is a diamond symbol. So when the reminder is 0, what you want to print? You want to print like the number is even number. So printing means what? Output. Output again, what is the symbol? Parallelogram, right? So I hope what are the symbols used you understood. And now we will try to convert the same algorithm into flowchart. Please observe this carefully. That's it. So please observe what we have done. We have used an oval symbol for start, and we have also used an oval symbol to represent the end. And next, I should actually use a parallelogram, right? In this particular shapes, I could not find a parallelogram, so I used a rounded rectangle to represent a parallelogram. So please observe, this is a rounded rectangle, so I treat this as a parallelogram. And now what I am doing, read a number as input from the user. So if you remember the symbols of flowchart, parallelogram should be used for input and output. So I should start. So start symbol is used. Then what is my first step? Read the number from the user. So I have read the number. After that, what should I do? I should process that number. Means I should divide that number by 2. It's an operation to be performed. It's a processing. Whatever processing you are doing, you should represent it using a rectangle. So in the rectangle symbol, I have written divide the number by 2. After that, what should I do? I should check whether the remainder of the division is 1 or not. If it is 1, then the number is even. If it is 0, sorry, if the remainder is 1, the number is odd, and if the remainder is 0, the number is even. Means I need to make a decision. Accordingly, I should print a message. So in order to make a decision, I should use a decision box symbol, diamond symbol. So division is the operation I performed. What is the next step? I should check the remainder. So I have used the decision box to check the remainder, and based on that I need to make a print statement. So when I'm printing something, it is output. For input output, again parallelogram should be used. So check the remainder. If the remainder is 1, the number is odd. If the remainder is 0, the number is even. And once these two steps have, either it is even or odd, only one will run based on the input. Suppose if my input is 10, 10 divided by 2, 2 5s are 10, remainder is 0, then it will print a message number is even, and then the program terminates. Similarly, if my input is 7, 2 3s are 6, remainder is 1, it will print that number is odd and the program terminates. So end symbol is connected by both parallelograms. Means after printing either of the message, the program terminates. That's the reason end symbol is connected by two parallelograms. Means either even or odd something will come, and then the program terminates. So this is how I draw a flowchart, and these are the basic symbols used in drawing a flowchart. And here I need to write some small labeling near decision box, right? To tell that, okay, if the remainder is 1, what should be done? If the remainder is 0, what need to be done? That I need to write. So please observe here. So it's pretty clear. So start, read a number as input from user, divide the number by 2, then a decision box where I'm checking the reminder, and if the reminder if the reminder is 0, if the reminder is 0, what I'm doing? I'm printing like number is even. And if the reminder is 1, what I'm doing? I'm printing like number is odd. So after that, what is the next step? After printing the output, you simply terminate the program. So they are connected to the end symbol. So this is how we draw a flowchart. So friends, it's very important to convert a given algorithm into flowchart. So one should remember all flowchart symbols, basic symbols. So one is oval for start and stop, parallelogram for input and output, parallelogram. Remember parallelogram for input as well as for output. Similarly, a rectangle for processing to represent there is some processing happening. And if at all you are making any decision, you use a decision box to represent whatever decision you are taking. So if based on the decision you go to a different place, like in this case, if the decision, like if the reminder was 1, I was printing something, and if the reminder was 0, I was printing something else. Like that, there can be more than 2 decisions also. So based on the decisions, I need to take appropriate step. So the diamond symbol is used for representing a decision, and for single decision there can be multiple outcomes. So in this case there were 2 outcomes, it can be more than 2 also. So this is how we convert an algorithm into a flow chart. So this is very important. At times you will be asked a question like, write an algorithm for so and so problem, and you have to write that algorithm, then convert it into a flowchart. So friends, I hope this has cleared fundamental concept of algorithm and flowchart, and I hope you can write algorithms now on your own, and you can, once the algorithm is written, you can easily convert them back to flowchart. So the important point to be noted here is what kind of skill is required for a student or a learner or a beginner to programming, people who are new to programming. What skill is required? The most important skill is problem solving. It's not programming. The most important skill is problem solving. For example, you don't know how to solve the problem. What algorithm you will write? You cannot write the algorithm. You have to solve the problem. For example, I ask you to find roots of quadratic equation. If you don't know what is determinant, if you don't know how to find roots of quadratic equation, if you don't know that there are 3 different possible answers, you can't write an algorithm. When you don't know how to solve the problem, you can't write an algorithm. When you can't write an algorithm, you can't convert it into a flowchart. When you can't write an algorithm or flowchart, obviously you cannot write a program also. So what is important? It's not algorithm, flowchart, or program. It is the problem solving skill that is more important, because if you don't have solution to a problem, you can't even write an algorithm, right? So friends, that is what is the important point to be noted. Everyone should focus on problem solving. See, if you have solution to a problem, then you can write an algorithm, you can draw a flow chart, you can convert that into a program using any language. But if you don't have solution to the problem, you can't write an algorithm, you can't convert it into flow chart, you can't even convert it into a program using any language. So summary is, what is an algorithm? It's a step-by-step procedure to solve a particular problem. If the algorithm is represented in the form of a picture or a graphic kind of thing, pictorial representation of algorithm is flowchart, and converting a flowchart into a program is the next step. Generally, we write complex algorithms, then we try to solve them, or we try to represent them using flowchart so that it can be easily understandable. Then once flowchart is available or algorithm is available, converting them into program is a simple task. But as I told you, much before that, you should have the solution to the problem. So problem solving skill, problem solving ability is the most important aspect. However, what is algorithm and what is flowchart, what are the symbols used in flowchart, that we have discussed, and I hope it's clear to you. And we will continue this in lectures In our next video, we will talk about basic programming constructs of C language. Then slowly we will move on. So till till now, what we have seen is what is an algorithm and what is a flowchart. So I hope algorithm and flowchart are clear to you, and we will meet in the next video, right? So thank you.